Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? It's your girl here, MJ's Nia. Welcome to the channel. I was gonna make another video, but I will not, you know, take a blind eye on this and ignore this topic. So I've been trying to ignore the topic around Tyla. There has been a lot of things. I'm gonna say this. It first started off with her saying that she was colored. So let me play this clip for you guys of a YouTuber putting it together real quick like.
Tyla has reacted to the backlash she's gotten over her ethnicity. The gorgeous new singing sensation Tyla, who had a smash hit with her song Water, is currently sparking a race war online. Tyla is only 21 years old and hails from South Africa, and she has proudly opened up about her heritage via her TikTok page. She said, "I am a colored South African. I come from a lot of different cultures." A lot of people were outraged with the way she used the word colored, as this is used a lot as a derogatory term against black people. What was meant to be an innocent video posted to share her background and culture with her fans has turned into a huge cultural debate on social media, and people are claiming that her career is over because of her comments. After all of this, Tyla finally cleared all of it up. She addressed this in an Instagram comment where she said, "Tired of this stuff. I'm a performer. Talk about my songs, my videos." In other news, Tyla has recently been spotted out partying with Kai Cenat, an internet sensation and streamer who is currently the second most subscribed to on the platform Twitch. They were seen together in a club partying away on New Year's Eve. The two seemed very close, laughing and dancing together and taking pictures. This has fueled dating rumors between them since the video of them together has been circulating online. Since Tyla's race debate is currently a viral topic, social media has of course had its say, and on Twitter, people did not hold back with how they felt about Tyla. One user tweeted, "I totally get what she's saying. I understand people might not like that word, but she's not saying it in a derogatory way. I personally think she made an innocent comment that people have taken too far." Another said, "I really hate the word colored, but I genuinely think she didn't mean it in a bad way. She's young and she'll learn. She should know better, but people should give her some grace." And lastly, another said, "Tyla, you cannot call yourself colored. This is very embarrassing and your white side is showing. We as black people will not call you colored." For this video's comment question, are people overreacting about Tyla's colored comment? Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for daily news.
All right, be sure to go and support this YouTube. I'll put their name up on the screen. But yes, this was like 6 months ago, back last year, where she talked about, I think she was doing a makeup video or a hair tutorial, and she called herself colored and people didn't like it. Ever since then, I noticed that people have been, there's been things coming up about her later on after this color incident, and a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of the black, Americans didn't like it, not the other races. It was mostly the African Americans, black people. They weren't feeling this topic. So she recently she got answered this question again about, color and being black. And this was on the Breakfast Club. Let me go ahead and play this video for you guys.
Identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not, por favor?
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too. I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that. I like that. That's good. That's even better.
Next one, please.
That's even better. About your identity as a South.
Well, honey, this sparked some more outrage. People were online and they were upset that she wasn't able to answer this question because her PR team stopped her. Yes, honey. So we're going to get into it. So remember I played the first video for you guys about how she came out and said she was color? Well, we're going back. So back in December, there was an article by BBC, Tyla's racial identity, South African singer sparks culture war. So yes, a lot of people were having a debate about this all over social media. I heard about it. I wasn't going to talk about it because a lot of people was upset about this topic and did their research on color in Africa. So actually that is a thing in African culture over there in over there in Africa. They have sets of groups, and I'm going to play a series of videos for you guys so you guys can see for yourself what I'm talking about. All right. So the first one is going to be a South African color or American color or black. Tyla has given us a conversation. This is 6 months ago. This is by I think his name Carvin H. Goldstone. Go check him out. But let me play this video for you guys.
To be colored or to be black? That is the question. So as Tyla makes waves with the water around the world, her identity is threatening to make bigger waves. Firstly, super proud of Tyla. Can't get enough of her success, her story, her accent, her vibe. She is gold. South Africa, stand up, be proud. Now, her identity and her choice to identify as colored. I think that as a knee-jerk reaction to the way you're being raised, you say I'm colored if you were raised in a home where you were colored. If you lived in a country where they said you were colored. If you filled in documents and said you were colored, South African legal documents saying you colored, it would come as first nature to say you colored. So for people to expect Tyla to say that she's black would mean that she would have to somehow deny the reality of what her life has been, which has been colored. And I know that's difficult for people in America specifically, but maybe Canada and the UK, wherever the term colored has been highly offensive to black people, that's hard to grasp. But let's maybe ask ourselves the question, why the term colored in the South African context is a problem to American people. It's not being used in the same context. So if you travel internationally as an entertainer, some of you know I'm a comedian and I'm a colored traveling comedian. So what do I do when I'm out there? Because I'm telling stories literally about being colored internationally, all over the world. Firstly, understanding that the audience you are facing, read the room, they don't have any sympathy for the term. No matter how you present it, no matter how you package it, no matter how you contextualize it, they don't have sympathy for the term. So as a young entertainer, and I'm talking about before I was even a comedian, when I used to rap, I was in the UK. It's the first time someone ever said to me, what do you call yourself? But of course, by that point, I'd already figured out that there was like a contention over the term colored and black for people who look black in the global context. And so I said I was black because I kind of saw him coming. And then he proceeded to tell me about his sister-in-law who was colored from Cape Town, and she married his brother who was black British, and how they would fight over this term and this classification. So what do we do now? Do people accept that in South Africa, not just South Africa by the way, Zimbabwe, Swaziland, Eswatini, where people are identifying as colored, do they accept those people in the term that they've identified and grown up in? Or do we all get behind the idea to be black? What's my solution as a traveling act? I consider myself black in the global context. I fully understand what that means, and I understand how that's received, and it's like an invisible brotherhood that you develop with black people around the world. And being black in many cases simply means not being white, which I'll unpack in a second. Secondly, the context of colored in South Africa, not the best circumstances which the term was coined, and the people were decided that people of mixed ancestry. But as someone of mixed ancestry, I've grown up being colored. I've grown up in a colored community, being identified. I'm chilled with this term. So I'm colored too. In a South African context, you call me colored, I'm okay with it. You call me black, I'm okay with it. I have a dual identity in that sense. And overarching over all of that for me personally is that I'm African. So when I travel, being African is probably more important to me than being colored or black. Because technically, none of these things are actually real. That's what's really like got me going about this whole conversation, is that we are fighting over stuff that is socially constructed. And it's not really real. It's only real because we make it real. And I'll explain. People don't want Tyla to be calling herself colored, but they want her to be calling herself black. You tell me what's the difference between this colonial term and that colonial term. Because as an African born in Africa, when people arrived in Africa from Europe, we were not calling ourselves black. We did not call ourselves black. They came here and called us black. We then adopted the term black, not by our own decision. It wasn't our prerogative to do. They called us black. We took the term black, And now we are here defending the term black, wanting to be the colonial term that we were referred to. Also, we were called colored in South African context. People of mixed ancestry, Asian, European, African, they said you were colored. Now, we are fighting over which of these colonial terms is the right one. If you ask me personally, they both wrong. So what we left with? African. Calling yourself African if you're from Africa is the safest thing to do. But I'm going to make an argument that even that.
So this is by Carvin H. Goldstone. Go check him out. I just want to play half of it. You can go listen to it for yourself. But I want to read some of these comments out here, two of them. This person said, I'm a South African colored person and a proud one at that. We have our own culture, distinct mannerism, and language. 95% of us are bilingual, but we are African first, just like Black, white, and Indian South Africans. Create video, by the way. Hope our American friends can see our side of this because we fully understand theirs. This is somebody who's African. Being colored now is the term that defines a collective culture. It may have started with race, but after years of racial segregation, the color culture has developed into its own real thing. Being Black refers to a collective struggle against white suppression. Steve Biko explained it well in his book, I Write What I Like. So I wanted to share those comments with you guys from people who are down below that are African. So I wanted to share this. This is 7 years ago. South African term color, not well defined. So I want you guys to see that this is a South African term. This is I don't think it's a South African term. I think it is a South African term, excuse me. But I want to play this for you guys. And this is by Bruno TV. Go check out the video on the channel. But let me play this for you guys down below.
I'm wondering over in South Africa, what are you guys addressing socially in terms of social issues? And then you just use the word nigga. And so I'm curious, what does that mean for you guys over in South Africa?
Well, for us, basically, if you're a person of color, you see me, I'm a colored person. And so in America, that means something totally different. All right. So I might need to give you a history lesson. So how it works is, so basically back in the days, right, in South Africa, there was the native African people living, you know, just chilling, kicking it, doing whatever it is they do. And then the Europeans came on their boats and shit, and then they basically said, "Oh, that, you know, ooh, that ass," or something like that, right?
Yeah, they start sleeping with them.
So years later, now we have a whole race of people, me, which is what you call colored people in South Africa, and you have obviously African people and so forth.
What y'all say?
Like I was just saying, like at home we say colored, which means mixed race, and here mixed race. You know what I mean?
Mulatto.
So you'll hear colored is like black, right?
Yeah, colored.
Yeah. So colored is actually mixed race. That's not black in South Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Mixed race is like it's like a dish.
Can you articulate, and I've tried to, you know, the difference between how racism feels when you grow up in a country like America or even South Africa, where separate is law.
Yeah.
Based on complexion.
Yes.
Right? And in South Africa, I've never been, but it is, you have the Coloureds, is that right?
You and I would be labeled
Coloureds,
as colored,
right? Because we're mixed.
Exactly.
And then you have Afrikaan.
Yes, but that's white though. So basically, it broke down into the whole point of apartheid was to separate people into racial groups to divide them because they were the majority, and you need the minority, which was white, was trying to control everything. So
separate everybody so you can control everybody.
You have to convince everyone that they are different, so that they are fighting themselves and not focusing on fighting the common enemy, right? So they broke it down. Now, the irony of this is, and this has happened all over the world, you come to a place, you make the law, and the law is black people shouldn't get with white people. Ironically, a lot of the time, those white people that make those laws
are
tempted by the dark chocolate, you know. So
I eat Thomas Jefferson.
Exactly. They're going like you shouldn't fraternize. You shouldn't fraternize with the. But damn, Nicki Minaj. I mean, I can't front. I can't, you know. And then what do they do? They go in, they dabble themselves, and then there's children, the fruit of this crime. And then what do you do now? You have to create a new race because you cannot argue. Like, what is this race? Are you saying that they're black? In South Africa, in America, they just went, oh no, you are black. And in South Africa, they further divided, and they said that we don't want to increase the black population, even though we're physically doing that. So we'll say that this is a new group, we call them colored. And so it's a strange world that we now lived in where, you know, black and white equal a completely new thing.
Yet again, this is YouTube. I put them up on the screen. And this is the South African term color not well defined. So if you notice right here, this is the most replayed. I'm going to replay it again for you guys, okay? And I want you to listen closer to what he said.
Have the Coloureds, is that right?
Yeah, you and I would be labeled
Coloureds,
as colored,
right?
Yeah.
Because we're mixed.
Exactly.
And then you have Afrikaan.
Yes, but that's white though. So basically, it broke down into the whole point of apartheid was to separate people into racial groups to divide them because they were the majority. And you need the minority, which was white, was trying to control everything. So
Separate everybody so you can control everybody.
You have to convince everyone that they are different so that they are fighting themselves and not focusing on fighting the common enemy, right? So they broke.
Did you hear what he said? It was to separate people and to divide them. If you know your history of the apartheid, I know I might be saying it wrong, pronouncing it wrong, but that was the whole point of it. So I wanted to bring that out too as well. Let's not forget the history between these terms. And you heard the other man earlier when he talked about black. Black that's not really technically even a race. That's a color. Same thing as color. Color is just color. These are like colonial terms that was created, but technically we're all African or African American. So I want to bring that out. It's trying to confuse us to have us argue with each other, which we are doing right now as we speak. Keep that in mind. All right, so I'm just going to read a little bit of this. It says, colored people have respective culture and history. Trevor is biracial and loosely based on his complexion has been called colored. However, some colored people ancestry can be linked to Malaysians being brought into South Africa and the native Khoi and San people. Not every colored person have black and white in them. It's a respective race. Trevor is definitely a mixed person, but not what we call, not what we call color. Being color is more border than just being biracial or mixed. Besides their ancestry varying between European, Mali, Khoisan, Batu, and Indian, apartheid made colored people to crave a unique culture and a way of life. And that is what makes them different, the culture which is unique to them. Colors are a mixture of so many different ethnicities. So I want to bring that out to you guys. Just want to clear that up. Then, yet again, Trevor Noah helps us South Africa's Tyla and Next culture debate among Black Americans. So yet again, he's back talking about this 5 months ago. This is Afro Post. So go check him out if you want to see the whole video, but I'm going to play a clip of it again.
In South Africa, there are black communities.
Yes.
There are colored communities, which are people that look like you and I, and there are white communities. Chinese were considered black.
And Japanese people were considered white. But in South Africa, because you had a situation where 6% of the population was in power, and they were trying to control the remaining 94%. How do you go about doing that? That's a Herculean task. In America, you had the one-drop rule. So if you were a person who had a drop of black blood in you, you were black. In South Africa, they couldn't allow the same metric because that meant you would now be a black person who is added to the majority, and the majority increasing was not something they wanted. So instead, what they set out to do was, they said if you were a person who was black, and then you were also half white, they would then recategorize you as a new race, and that race they called colored.
Hello everybody, welcome once again to AfriPost. I believe wherever you're watching us from, you are doing good. Now before I say anything, I know this is a festive season, and each and every one of you, wherever you're watching us from, I want to take this opportunity to wish you a happy holiday. And Merry Christmas, because today is the Christmas day. For those who are waiting for the New Year celebrations like me, let's wait for it and see how it pans out. Now, today I want us to talk about this question of colorism, because it is a serious issue in United States and also partly in Africa, and especially in South Africa. There is this singer who is getting out, and she's really becoming a big artist now from South Africa. She's called Tyla. Now, she's sparked some online debate about the question of colorism and being colored. Now, when she was asked who she is, she's identified herself as being a colored person. You must understand that this term colored really means different things to different people depending on the culture that you're coming from. Now, Tyla identifies as a colored person, but then she is based in the United States, where she's doing some good work there. And then again, what comes out is that Black community in the United States, the African Americans, were not happy about somebody who is considered Black in the standards of United States identifying as being colored, because to United States people or to African American people, being colored is something that is insultive. It is something that is derogatory. It is something that was used as a term that was racist to some extent. So it is something that is really sparking debate, and it has brought a lot of online debate and different conversations going on here and there. I want you to take a listen to these kind of discussions that have been going on, and let's talk about it later after you've listened to this video. Take a listen.
Colored people are their own ethno-racial group in Southern Africa. They have their own culture, heritage, and history, and I need people to understand this so that they stop using their Western definitions of colored and then imposing them on colored people in South Africa, because in some way you're contributing to the erasure of colored people and the significance that they have within the conceptualization of the African identity, of the Southern African identity. And I think I'm kind of getting frustrated because other people just don't want to understand that what is happening in the West is not always happening in other parts of the world. Yes, we have the same English. Yes, we do have certain things that are similar, but connotations to words are not always going to be the same, because our relations with colonization weren't the same, right? And that's okay. A difference is okay. And I think we need to embrace that difference instead of trying to impose similarity on people. And by imposing similarity, sometimes you make the mistake of erasing the significant parts of other people's cultures that you don't want to
Be colored is what they call the Black people before we got rights in this country. You saying she's colored, not Black, baby, that's why everybody's eating you up right now.
There's this thing that's unique to Africa, which is we can fight each other, but if some stranger comes for one of us, they come for all of us, okay? There's this saying in Egypt that goes, my brother and I will fight my cousin, but my cousin and I will fight a stranger. And that's literally a description of Africa. You come for one of us, you come for all of us. And this South African artist, colored is an ethnicity in South Africa, but then this chick came and said, colored in America is what we called ourselves before we had the right to call ourselves Black, like she said in the video. And South Africans were telling her that no, colored is an ethnicity. This is what they call themselves in South Africa. And she was just doubling down and saying what she said, which is so comical because, first of all, she's like, in America, girlie, do you understand that the world does not revolve around America? Around the States. South Africa is a country in Africa. Okay, Africa is not North America. South Africa is not the United States of America. So that's first of all. Second of all, has anybody noticed that African Americans know only 2 words for ethnicities, which is Black and white? They don't know anything. There is not another word. I made a video saying that North Africans aren't white. We're not white, because they were saying that we are colonizers, and the reason our skin tone is this is because we stole the land from, Black Africans, and Africans can't be this skin color, and that we're white. And that's that's legitimately and actually what they think. This is literally they are 100% convinced that all Africans are Black and anybody who looks like me is white. That's so comical because the thing about Africa is that we have every single skin tone and we have every single ethnicity in our continent. It's probably the most diverse continent of all the continents in the world. But then you have Americans who think that their political views, their definitions of race, their definition of ethnicities, they literally think that their rules, their societal rules are the rules that apply to the rest of the world. Not only that, but they have this sense of entitlement where they're always amazed that other countries don't really give a crap about their definition of things. Like, this is a country that just discovered using kettles to make tea and putting butter on toast, and they're calling it a food hack, and it's like, people are still using checks. Like, you don't understand how backwards and so far in the past you are. This girl is just, it's so ignorant not to listen to the people of the country you're talking about. The artist herself calls herself colored and is proud of that. South Africans are telling this girl, no, it's called colored, it's not called black. And she's like, no, y'all are wrong and I'm right, because in America, that's the way it is. And like, bestie, the world doesn't revolve around you or your definition. Like, you live in this bubble where you think that the rest of the world literally should live in the same bubble as you. And the rest of the world, and specifically Africans, don't give a crap about your definition. Because Africans will not call us white. Africans know that in Africa, we are very diverse. And we are all equally Africans. And when you come for one of us, you come for all of us, okay? You chose the wrong country. You chose the wrong people to pick a fight with. You cannot beef with Africans. Like, we do not allow beefing with one of us. We stick together in situations like this. We are united, and you need to kind of learn your lesson and stop being so stubborn about your opinion. Because if you go to this girl's page, first of all, the video is still up, which is I completely, like, I don't believe that you should take a video down just because you've been proven wrong. But yeah, like, if you let the video up, then you should make a follow-up video apologizing, because you need to apologize to South Africans. And also, I genuinely believe in making mistakes and learning from your mistakes. You made a mistake and you said that, no, she's black. And then South Africans, the people of this country, corrected you. They know better than you. You do not, your knowledge is not superior to the native people of the country. You should listen to them and you should learn from your mistakes. Educate yourself, because the worst part about this is that she said, educate yourself. Bestie, the closet is made of glass. You are the one who needs to be educated. So please, I'm gonna need Americans to stop inserting themselves in our business, okay? Your education system has failed you so much that even when we tried to educate you, your education system and your society has convinced you that you were right, has convinced you that you're the greatest country in the world, and you walk around with this sense of entitlement, when in fact, you are a third world country in a Gucci belt, okay? Like, no, you need to just kind of come to, like, arrive to the modern world, learn how it works. Okay, because this is just laughable and honest to God embarrassing. How can you be so proud and so loud about your ignorance? Like, are you not embarrassed? How are you not embarrassed? And that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
I just realized.
This is AfriPost. I'm gonna put a link down in the description box so you can see for yourself. But honey, I don't know who this girl is. I don't know who this woman is, but she gathered you up. Okay? She gathered y'all Black Americans up. And I'm Black American. I call myself Black or African. Either way, I don't care. But she gathered y'all up. She did. She really did. She broke it down in details as to why Tyla called herself colored. Ooh. Child, let's go on.
Tyla is colored. And some of you have an issue with that, so let's talk about it. This video of Grammy-nominated South African singer Tyla has been going viral for a lot of unfortunate reasons. Around 10% of South Africa's population is made up of the colored community. To be colored is to be mixed race. They are descendants of the Khoisan, one of the oldest tribes in Southern Africa. They've gone on to create culture, customs, and a rich sense of self within South Africa, and are acknowledged and respected as colored people. Now, I understand that the term colored means something different in other parts of the world, and to ask you to ignore your own history and painful associations would be unfair. However, we are not going to erase someone's culture because we don't understand it. This could be a beautiful opportunity to educate ourselves and each other and understand that the way you perceive someone is not who they have to be, because then we're just doing what's been done to us.
dance. No matter what we're singing about, it can be a very sad song, but you'll be on the dance floor.
That is a colored girl. No South African looks at that and doesn't think that's a colored girl. And let me tell you why. Because colored is not just a word, it's a real identity, a unique identity. Colored people can be spotted by the way they talk, the way they look, even the cars they drive. South Africans will know what I'm talking about. But the point is why we want Tyla's identity accepted is because if it's not accepted, it contributes to the erasure of millions of people. It's not just about the word. Now I understand the word has a bad history in America and you guys refuse to use it. Even though you guys use the N-word, which has the same history, but it is what it is. Tell her what you must. If you don't want to use the word, don't. But don't try and label her as something else, erasing her identity. Rather just call her Tyla. Another thing I've seen people say is that she can be colored in South Africa and everywhere else she's black. When she leaves R Tambo International, she doesn't become something else. She doesn't leave her identity in the parking lot. When Thames gets to America, she doesn't become Tamisha. So like I said, if you don't want to call her that word, don't. But don't try and label her something else. Because it's not just about her. Colored people have been fighting for their identity for a very long time. And if it's taken away on a global stage like that, it's very detrimental to the entire community. Another thing I've seen a few people say is that if she wants to be successful in the mainstream and she wants to be accepted by Americans, she basically has to throw her entire identity away to be successful. No, she doesn't. If she wants to do that and she wants the approval of Americans, that's on her. But she doesn't need to do it. She doesn't need Americans. This is not the way you guys think it is. This is the labels in America seeing all these different genres blow up and they want to be a part of it. And they want to make money off of it. And Tyla's going to be the first of many artists to come through. And let's please remember that Amapiano is a South African genre, by the way, before that happens. And the last thing is, it's kind of sad to see all the negativity and hate coming towards the colored identity now, because the colored identity is actually quite a cool representation of many different people. Like, look at Tyla herself, her style, her hair, the way she looks, the music, the dance is very African. And then if you were, most likely if you go to a house for supper, the food would have a very big South Asian influence. The way she talks, it's a European language with an accent that you've probably never heard before and you can't figure out what it is. And that is because colored people are such a cool representation of a lot of people. And I think that is something that we should appreciate and not try to erase.
Well, let's read the comments over. It says nothing special about identifying as colored. I know so-called colors who darker than me, and hell, I can call myself colored if I want to. I just need to swear a lot and talk funny. The color identity is a way of maintaining privilege over darker skinned people. Colonizers give you a bone and use to oppress others. Nobody should be arguing with Tyla about how she identifies. This must no longer be explained to anyone who committed to misunderstanding. I get that the word color over here in America, it is a derogatory name, but what people need to understand over there, that's color is used in a different way. Color is not used the same way around the globe. I've learned this years ago. I didn't know that, but until I met different people when I came down to Florida, that's how I found out about the word color. Color is not just meant for a derogatory name. It also can be used, like, that's why I keep playing all these videos to let you guys see that it's not just used for a derogatory name towards black people. Also, like I stated earlier, black too as well it used to be a derogatory name, but we embraced it and changed it into something else. The N-word is another derogatory name, and we take it and we embrace it and change it into something else. So, but to others, the N-word is a bad word. They don't want to use it. So I just want you guys to understand that and get that, stuck in y'all brain. When we're talking about the word color, the N-word, black, African. I mean, technically, we're all Africans. But because of mix and multiculture, multi-mix or multiculture or color, they would say over there in Africa, South Africa. That's why we have to have these, that's why we have different, titles, because some people do not accept mixed people. Let's keep it 100. A lot of people do not accept mixed people as black because technically they might be half white and half black. I've discussed this already with a Drake video I made about his son. I've talked about this and I broke it down in details. I talked about Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I talked about Doja Cat. You name it. I've talked about people who are mixed over here in America. So let's keep it 100. A lot of y'all are not going to accept mixed people as black. Y'all going to break it down and be like, they're half this and half that. So let's keep it 100. So hopefully I cover up a whole lot of stuff. Now, after all of this, drama has been coming out about, Tyla calling herself colored, I began to notice that people started to tear her down. One of the things was Tyla is copying Rihanna. Tyla came out and said that was a compliment. And, she knows her own self. I'm going to put a link down below to this article down below that people were saying that she was copying, Rihanna, even though she's inspired by Rihanna, right? She said, and she also said she's inspired by Aaliyah and a list of other artists. So I want to bring that out too. That was one of the things that people started to do. I started to notice that people were trying to really tear her down, trying to say that she's trying to take Rihanna's spot. That was another thing. Another thing. Oh, okay. So another thing too, Impressive brought this out. It's 1 day ago, but it's talking about people are trying to pin Tyla against Ayra Starr. Oh yeah, so let me play this video by you guys. To see the whole video, go check out Impressive.
Getting a lot of traction. It seems like people are pitting the pop African stars Tyla and Ayra Starr against each other. And I didn't even know this was a thing until recently, but on social media, they have been really comparing these two a lot. Now, I don't really understand the comparison between the two because they both are different artists and they make different music. But I guess because they're just the new pop girls coming out of Africa, their fans want to pit them against each other, which to me is unnecessary. But lately, people have been trying to draw comparisons between the two. Some fans have been comparing their music and their dance moves and even their mannerisms. Some Ayra fans feel like Tyla was copying Ayra when she was coming up. And now some Tyla fans feel like Ayra is copying Tyla. They noticed that after Tyla went on tour with Chris Brown, Ayra went on tour with Chris Brown. And they also were pointed out that after Tyla went to the Chicago Sky basketball game, Ayra decided to go to the Chicago Sky basketball game. Somebody said, why is her management trying to copy everything Tyla does? LOL. Someone else said, I thought that was Tyla. Another Tyla fan said, LOL, they've always been copying from South Africans as far as entertainment is concerned. They wish they were us. Look at how they have albums with Amapiano sound in them. They don't want to be labeled as Afrobeat artists anymore. Tyla is the blueprint, by the way. Another Tyla fan said, this is so embarrassing. One is a local champion. The other is a global superstar. The roar alone will tell you Tyla is a global icon. Ayra copying every single move from Tyla is so cringe at this point. No single individual knew who the F they showed on the screen.
Superstar Ayra Starr to today's game. Check out her new album, The Year I Turned 21, in stores and streaming now.
Now, some Ayra fans fired back at Tyla's fans and said that Tyla was the one inspired by Ayra. This one fan said, how is Ayra copying the same Tyla that's singing her songs at the top of her voice? She was Ayra's maid before Water. Ayra Starr is who Tyla thinks she is. Normal, she be low budget Ayra Starr, stole everything from Sabi Girl, but can't steal talent. When water dries up, we will be there. And they posted clips of Tyla singing along to Ayra's music and also mentioning Ayra as one of the artists she listens to.
Afrobeats, Wizkid,
Yes.
Rema, Ayra Starr. We listen to literally African artists, but
some people also believe that Tyla's team used Ayra as a blueprint to push her into mainstream success.
Okay, so you hear that? They're now trying to pin her against Ayra, which I don't understand why. Both of these girls, they support each other. They made songs together. I don't understand why they are doing this. This makes no sense. But then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, all this stuff about Tyla started to come up after the color thing. Now people are trying to find things wrong with her. all kind of stuff. I mean, I've heard all kind of crazy things. I can keep going on and on and on of all the stuff that they're trying to say about Tyler. And I love both of these artists. I listen to both of their music, okay? So I don't know why this was brought up. And this is fake outrage yet again on where? On Twitter. Twitter, it always starts on Twitter and then it overlaps on the other social media. Just want to bring that out. This is why I do not care for Twitter. Then another thing too was that they were trying to blow over proportion was, did y'all remember when Tyla went on Kai Cenat stream, and I guess Kai Cenat was trying to throw his shots at Kai Cenat, and you know, Tyla politely said, you know, but we're friends though. She said it in a nice polite way. So there was also, she also talked about that too on the Breakfast Club as well. And I don't know why we're still having this conversation here about her, you know, kindly telling, you know, Kai Cenat in a way, no, like, let's remain friends. Let me play this clip for you guys. Oh, before I go, actually, one more thing. She did address the color thing. So Tyla addresses her not answering the color versus black question during her interview. Never deny my blackness. I'm both colored in South Africa and black woman. Yeah, guys, never deny my blackness. I don't know where that came from. I'm mixed with black, Zulu, Irish, Indian, and color. In Sotha, I would be classified as a colored woman. In other places, I would be classified as a black woman. Race is classified differently in different parts of the world. I don't expect to identify as a color outside of Sotha by anyone. Not comfortable doing so because I understand the weight of that word outside of SI. But to close this conversation, I'm both colored in South Africa and a black woman. She said women, but I think she meant woman. As a woman for the culture, it's and not or. With that being said, I'm not sure what that said, but y'all can let me know what she said. And that's the, you know, where that came from. So I wanted to bring that out. I'm not going to read any more comments. I'm tired of reading the comments. I wish, you know, black Americans would stop thinking that when it comes, other people around the globe sees us differently. And I've said this several times. I made videos of this already. Black Americans, we're seen differently because there people around the globe are taught differently about African Americans or African people from Africa, black Americans, etc., etc. Like I say, we really do need to go back to the history book, especially to the African history book, and learn the culture a little bit more and figure out where our ancestors came from and what Africa went through during the apartheid. I might be saying it wrong, but the apartheid. We need to go back and we need to really study it and know the terms and why these were. And I already played the videos for you guys of the Africans explaining to you about the apartheid. We really do need to go back and we need to study it a little bit more. And we need to study our African history because I think a lot of us black Americans, we do feel like we are better than others. You know, I've kind of said this too about, you know, black people who are from Europe. I feel like they too think that they're better than everybody else. We got to stop thinking that. This is dividing us. And like I stated already, and we need to work together. We need to be together as a team and not work against each other. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think down below in the comment area. But as for now, just see y'all later. Peace.
Give Kai Cenat a framed picture of you're saying what was it?
That's
We
a quote
friends
by
though.
you, but we friends though.
Yeah, guys, the thing stretched.
You heard this hard, and I seen you was just joking. You were just
But
trying
she
to
was
be
so
innocent,
sweet
but it just
about
went
it.
everywhere.
She was so sweet about it still though, you know. But
Yo.
we're friends though.
Yeah, yo, don't put me on the spot, guys. I will embarrass. I'm sorry.
We seen.
Like, I'm sorry.
No.
Don't put me on the spot.
Do you and Kai joke about that?
I mean, we don't really talk about it.
We don't talk about it no more. It's
No.
uncomfortable.
You knew Kai before that though, right?
I knew of him.
Okay,
but
okay.
Yeah, we met. Yeah, we met in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, around New Year's.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
And then I went on the stream. It was actually really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
You just can't believe that went so far.
Your
Just-
face was hilarious.
Nah, I was just like every time I'm getting tagged, people are commenting, we friends though. Like,
We friends though.
It's a whole thing.
But it's funny. You never laugh at it. You just was like, why people keep. You never laughed at it. I thought it was cute and funny because you were still being sweet about it.
Yeah, no, I found it funny like when people started dragging it. I was like, oh, you guys are weird.
Yeah.
Turn it into a song.
We friends though.
Yes,
A song about curving
we
guys.
friends,
A song
though.
about curving dudes.
You can sell merch and all that.
Yeah, put Kai in the video.
I don't know if I'll do all that.
Damn.
I don't know if I'm gonna make a whole now profitable business.
Oh, girl,
that,
I bet you will.
And Kai, I think Kai would do it too.
Did you see Kevin Hart give Kai?
So yet again, something else blown out proportion. The reason why I brought this out, so remember I played the guy earlier. Do you remember the guy who I played earlier? And he was talking about she was seen clubbing with Kai Cenat in club, and people were saying that they allegedly they were dating. A lot of people are saying that they hope that Tyla doesn't let the industry, ruin her and, hold her out. All kind of things. Look, at this point, like, I really do think there's a hate train for Tyla, because after she said colored, people are trying to find any and anything to make her look bad in the public eyes. I have no issue with anybody calling themselves color. If you want to call yourself the N-word, go ahead. If you want to call you, and I like I said, I don't care if you call me black or, African American, it doesn't bother me. But I do think we need to go back to the African history book, and I think we need to learn about African history again. I think a lot of us fell asleep just because the same things that happen in the United States is kind of the same in Africa, but not the same. Africa has another side of their history, so we really do need to go back to history. And this is why I said history is very important in the African, in the Black, in the African community, because we have, some of us are not well educated on it. We're educated a little bit, but we're a little ignorant. And I'm going to actually do myself a favor too and go back and read over some things, because I'm beginning to see that, even though I'm aware of the color word, a lot of people are not. And it's really breaking down the community. And like Trevor said here, this is a way to keep us divided. He said the most important thing. It's not bringing us together. It's keeping us divided. And like my brother said, we're all African. We all came from Africa. The Black Americans over here, some of y'all don't want to admit it, but yes, you are from Africa. Your ancestors came from there. You're African. So that's what I say. I don't care if somebody calls me African American. I've had people call me that. It doesn't bother me at all. People call me Black American. It doesn't bother me. These terms should not be important. This is a distraction. We need to stick together, not against each other. That's just what I want to bring out. This is ridiculous, and this keeps going on and on about this girl, this, up and coming artist Tyla. If you don't want to support her, there's other artists out here we can support, So let me know what you think down below in the comment area about this. Oh, before I go, actually, one more thing. She did address the color thing. So Tyla addresses her not answering the color versus black question during her interview. Never deny my blackness. I'm both colored in South Africa and Black woman. Yeah, guys, never deny my blackness. I don't know where that came from. I'm mixed with Black, Zulu, Irish, Indian, and color. In Sotha, I would be classified as a color woman. In other places, I would be classified as a Black woman. Race is classified differently in different parts of the world. I don't expect to identify as a color outside of Sotha by anyone. Not comfortable doing so because I understand the weight of that word outside of SI. But to close this conversation, I'm both colored in South Africa and a Black woman. She said women, but I think she meant woman. As a woman for the culture, it's and not or. With that being said, I'm not sure what that said, but y'all can let me know what she said. And that's the, where that came from. So I wanted to bring that out. I'm not going to read any more comments. I'm tired of reading the comments. I wish, Black Americans would stop thinking that when it comes, other people around the globe sees us differently. And I've said this several times. I made videos of this already. Black Americans, we're seen differently, because there people around the globe are taught differently about African Americans or people from Africa, Black Americans, etc., etc. Like I say, we really do need to go back to the history book, especially to the African history book, and learn the culture a little bit more and figure out where our ancestors came from and what Africa went through during the apartheid. I might be saying it wrong, but the apartheid. We need to go back and we need to really study it and know the terms and why these were. And I already played the videos for you guys of the Africans explaining to you about the apartheid. We really do need to go back and we need to study it a little bit more. And we need to study our African history, because I think a lot of us Black Americans, we do feel like we are better than others. You know, I've kind of said this too about, you know, Black people who are from Europe. I feel like they too think that they're better than everybody else. We got to stop thinking that. This is dividing us. And like I stated already, and we need to work together. We need to be together as a team and not work against each other. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think down below in the comment area. But as for now, just see y'all later. Peace.
Fendi and Adana, Karen, they be sharing all their money, got me wearing fly. Girl, but I ain't asking. They say they love my ass and 7 G's to religion. I say no, but they keep giving, so I keep on taking. And no, I ain't taking. We can keep on taking. I keep on demonstrating my love, my love, my love, my love. You love my lady lumps, my hump, my hump, my hump. My humps, they got you. They got you. They got you. They got you. They got you.